I'm Dr. Chamonix Blanche, ex-corporate and academical, turned CEO and board member of several companies and mother of 4 little extraordinary kids. But it wasn't that long ago that I lacked the confidence, the know-how, and the time to focus on designing and really going after the life that I so wanted to live. A life of freedom, of fairness, and of being fair dinkum to who I really was and what I wanted to get out of this fleeting time that we have on Mother Earth. Fast forward to many lessons learned and moving halfway around the world to the most amazing country, you'll see the life that I now live. One that gives me more safety and freedom than I ever thought would be possible, and that really only existed as a daydream while I was living in South Africa. I created Chamonix TV to give you true spot advice on how you can also live a life in this amazing country, and so that you can see how another couple like us now live in Australia with 4 little kids hearing down under. And I'll be providing you with step-by-step strategies so that you can make your Aussie dream a reality too. If you're a keen future Aussie who's looking to create a life that excites you and offers you safety, freedom, and opportunity, you have come to the right place, my friend. Welcome aboard.
Hi, Jaendre. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's lovely to talk to you here in Perth. How's your day been?
Thank you very much for bringing me on here. I'm very surprised since I've never really done an interview before, but I'm very excited and hopefully I do good. But I'm very good. The night is pretty busy because of my little one next to me. She keeps us very busy.
And how old is she?
She's 3 months and 10 days old now, but she acts like she's 6-7 months old, honestly.
Oh, wow. Congratulations on your
Thank
new
you very
beautiful
much.
bundle of joy. I know what it feels like to be a new parent, and it's an exciting time. And I want to say, a new country. How long have you guys been in Australia for?
On the 18th of September, we will be here for 12 years now, and it's a lovely 12 years.
And you're in Perth, yes, with me. And you've always been in
Yes.
Perth, or have you lived in other cities?
Yes. When we first moved here, we moved to Tasmania because that's where my father got the job interview, the job offering. So that's where we moved. But when my parents wanted to go back to South Africa for a visit, we decided, oh, Perth is much more closer and it's not as long as a flight as it would be in Tasmania, and it's much more warmer here too. So
Yes, absolutely. Tasmania is a little bit cold for me too. I prefer the Perth weather. So you guys came 12 years ago, you said, and how did you come in? You came with your parents?
yes. I was still in high school when we decided it would be a good idea to move here. But it's actually quite a story, and I could tell you about the story later on if you like.
I'd love to hear it. Please tell us what happened. How did
Oh,
you feel when your parents told you the first time, Jaendre, we're going to Australia?
I was a bit upset, honestly, because I have all my friends and also family back in South Africa, and I didn't want to leave them because I thought, oh, okay, I'm not going to make any friends because it's quite to me it felt quite intimidating because I'm kind of a shy person when it comes to meeting new people, honestly, and I hated it at the first time coming here because I didn't know anybody. It was just me, my parents, and my brother. So we decided well, not me, sorry. My father decided to apply for a job online in anywhere in the world, actually. And a man actually emailed my father because he looked at his resume and he said, oh, your resume is very good. I love what's on there. You have good skills, and I can see you've been working in this industry for a very long time. So he said, oh, you know what? It will be a good idea if you apply for this job. And my dad said, you know, what the heck? What can I lose? So he did.
Yeah, yeah.
And unfortunately, he did not get the job. But my dad said, "Oh, you know what? Maybe I will apply for another one." So he did, and eventually he got the job, and it just all started from there. Actually, just as a what the heck kind of thing, really.
Yeah, so it's Arno Irvin. I don't know what that's in English at the moment. I can't get my brain right. But it just, yeah, it just shows you if you keep on trying, eventually you will find success by hook or by crook. So what occupation is your dad in, Jaendre?
He's a fitter and turner. That's the only that's the only name that I know that he's given me, really.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so that's what
I
that's the occupation or the job that he came for in Tasmania.
oh no, that's what that is his trade that he
Hmm.
has.
Yeah.
But he's doing the same kind of work that he did in South Africa here. So that's really all I know about it. Sorry.
Are they still in Tasmania?
No, no, no. They in Perth. They're actually in a house. Because I'm still with my parents at the moment. But because of the little one, it's a little bit hard to find a place that is big enough for me and my wife and my child, and saving everything to get a house. So yeah.
Yes, yes. Australia is not a cheap place. It's a
No,
very
no, no.
expensive country.
It is. Yes.
I'm sure you will approve with that one. And tell me,
Yeah.
Jaendre, the change from South Africa when you came in high school to Australia, what standard were you in or year were you in when you came over?
Uh, I was lucky, because I mean, now that I think of it, now that I'm a bit older, I actually was put behind a year in the year 11, I believe. I can't remember now.
Hmm.
But I see it as actually as a good thing, because I think God allowed me to be put behind 1 year in order to come with my parents when I turned 18, and I I then went to school here as well, just 1 year, just because that's what my parents' idea, because of the visa stuff, because they didn't know
Mm.
exactly if it would be interfering or anything like that. So that's why I went to school here with my brother.
And did you find it hard, the transition from South Africa to Australia?
At first, yes, yes, because let me tell you, some people were not very nice. Yeah, they were not very, very nice.
Yeah.
We've gotten a lot of very bad comments, but I'm talking about school here now. But
Mm.
there are some, like, people in public that are not very, very happy. That I guess foreigners coming into the country. But other than that, it's very. It's not too different. It's not too different from South Africa. The way of life is a little bit different, but it just seemed uh, like I was back in South Africa, but just in a different country, I guess.
So if you could do it all over again, if you had the choice without your parents, would you choose to come to Australia again, or would you prefer to have stayed in South Africa?
I I would say I would do it all over again. Yes,
So why do you like Australia then?
I like it because it's. I can't say if it's actually, if people will agree with me on this, but I find it's a little bit cheaper, in everything, day-to-day things, car rentals, car buying, petrol, groceries, uh, and it's just you can. I seem to be can do a lot more with my money than I would be able to back in South Africa.
I think in South Africa, you spend a lot of your money on safety and security kind of things, and in a way, with keeping up with the Joneses, because if Peter next door has bought a new Mercedes, then you feel like you have to buy a new Mercedes as well. And in Australia, we don't really have that like that. People don't ask you what car you drive or in which street you live. So it makes it easier in that regard. I'm sure that you would agree with that. And
Yes.
also, and also, as you said, yes, it's Australia is a very expensive country, but if you shop wisely, you can get good bargains. And I think that's what you're referring to, because if you know where to go, you can really get far with your dollar, and you're earning in dollars, which also helps, obviously. So in South Africa, I think sometimes it's harder to get out with your rands because of
Yes.
those kinds of things that makes it a bit harder to to survive your day-to-day
Yes.
costs.
Yes. Especially when you don't really have a stable income.
Yes, that's right. And have you been able to find stable income in Australia?
Yes, it was a bit difficult at first, since it where the work we're working in South Africa and working in Australia is very different, as far as going into a job that you haven't done before. At least from my experience in South Africa, they tend to take you on. They tend to hire you a lot more often and to try to train you as like an apprenticeship. But here, that I've also that I've noticed that some places will not hire you if you do not have the actual qualification for it, and that's that's a bit of the uh,
The downside.
yes, the downside of it,
Yeah. Yeah.
because a lot of people would love to get a job, but of course, but some of them have to go to school and get the qualification before they can actually find a job.
Yes, this is the land of red tape. So much
Mm,
red tape. You have to jump through hoops and bend over backwards sometimes. But in a way, that's what makes Australia so great. It's because people follow the rules, and you know that in order to get X, you got to do Y. So it's really um, regimented and controlled. So it's tricky because it's good and it's bad. As you say, some people want to get a foot in the door, but they can't do that if they haven't actually done the qualification. But on the other hand, in Australia, it's really easy to get a qualification. If you want to go and study anything, it's
yes.
literally up to you. There's not really much of a barrier between you and wanting to go and do anything really. So as long as you put in the effort, you should be able to go and do a qualification. Tell me, Jaendre, your family that you have, your wife and your little gorgeous baby, did you marry
Yes.
a South African girl or did you get somebody from Australia?
Actually, no, actually, I did not. At first I wanted to, because I wanted to. I just wanted to speak my own language because it's much easier, as everybody know. Their own language is far easier to speak, of course. And I wanted to have the whole South African experience in Australia as the braai and all that together with family and friends. But unfortunately, some just didn't really like me, I guess. But I actually ended up marrying a Filipino woman, which I think uh, I think she's very the light of my life, and as is my daughter, because I think it's a blessing.
Oh,
Because if I didn't meet her, I would not have had my beautiful daughter today.
absolutely. And did you meet her here in Australia or in the Philippines?
Yes, I did. Actually, it's a funny story. Because I work with her aunt as well, and her aunt actually introduced us. Quite frankly, quite funny
That's
enough,
sweet.
and
Yes.
it because yeah, I just came out of a very bad relationship when just before I met her.
So you've taught her all about the South African culture, I'm sure, and how to braai and how to eat vet koek and koeksisters.
Oh, I think I can't remember if I actually got her to taste Cook Sisters yet, but I think actually thank you for that. I think I will do that. I will do that. But yeah, she's I'm teaching her a little bit of Afrikaans. She's when I speak Afrikaans to my mom or my dad, she tends to pick up a few words.
Oh, that's so sweet. And tell me, Genre, what's been the hardest thing for you about having moved to Australia or just living in Australia in general?
Uh, man, um, I the all the rules and regulations that they have. Now, a lot of people will disagree with me, but this is where I prefer South Africa's rules and regulations over Australia. Not that I'm not grateful for what they have done, but Australia seems to be very strict with everything, where South Africa is more laid back. You can sort of do what you want, but within the boundaries of the rules, where unfortunately Australia is not really like that.
That's true. Australia is very regulated. And tell me, Jaendre, have you been back to South Africa much? Do you see yourself as a South African now or an
Yes,
Australian?
I still see myself as a South African. I was born and raised there, and I can't see myself as an actual Australian, even though I'm a citizen already. But I deep down, I'm still South African. I do love my country, but unfortunately, as we all know, what's going on in South Africa makes it a bit hard. Um, but as to answer your question, if I have been back, yes, I have been back once, but unfortunately, because of um, work related, I can't always get any holiday from work because they tend to they don't tend to give you any annual leave. So I want to go back, but because of the whole coronavirus and the lockdown, I can't.
Yes, yes, it's made life a little bit harder in that regard.
Yes.
The good thing about coronavirus is it's been the same to everybody right across the world. It hasn't been different to you or me or the people in South Africa. We've
Hmm.
all had the same issues with coronavirus. Hopefully, coronavirus will pass soon, and then you'd be able to go and show your beautiful baby to your family in South Africa.
Yes, that's what I want to do, especially my grandmother because I'm very close to her, and
Oh,
because my grandmother is not doing so well, and because I would really love her to see her great granddaughter, and
oh.
because I can't really see my grandmother not meeting her, but if things goes on the way it is, then she might never see her.
Well, fingers crossed for you guys that you are able to go and see Oma
Oh my,
and give
yeah,
her
oh my,
give vir Oma 'n groot drukkie.
ja, goed en soon sommer.
And it's soon, yeah. And thank you so much for talking to us tonight, Jaendre. I really appreciate it. You
You're
taking the
welcome.
time and being brave to share your story,
Yeah.
because not everybody is brave enough to be on camera and tell other people about their lives and how it's worked out for them. But thank you for sharing it, because there will be somebody somewhere who will resonate with what you've said, and it will give them some courage that they too can make the move over to Australia.
Oh yeah, yes, that is true. There's a few things I'd like to add.
Yes.
Um, I can't really stress this enough. Since we talked about how regulated Australia is, and how you need a qualification for everything that you want to do, I can't stress this enough. Yeah, for the fellow South Africans that are watching this, I do please get a good qualification, or at least try to, before you decide to move, because it's very hard. Because Australia does, have a certain amount of certain amount of traits that they want, like doctors or nurses, or like in the trading in like metalworks or something like that. They
Mhm.
are very interested in that, and if you have those kind of qualifications, it's best to apply for those kind of jobs, or just have a qualification that they will accept, because some qualifications, let me tell you, they do not accept. Even though you have the paperwork, you have to, prove that you actually have that. But it's very difficult. But at some times, it's quite easy.
That's true. Yes, Australia only allows certain skills into the country, and
Yes,
if
skills.
you
Yes.
if you're young listening to us today on the video that you're watching, if you are around 18 years old or somewhere there where you are at the stage that you're deciding on what to study, maybe consider looking at the skills list for Australia and see what it is that Australia needs in the country, and then decide what to go and study based on those lists, as Jean-Dre said, because then you can study something that the country would like to have. And once you've finished your studies and you've got 2 or 3 or 5 years experience, you can then consider applying to come to Australia.
That is true. Yes.
Great
That's
advice,
exactly
John,
right.
right? And thank you again for joining us. I appreciate it.
You're
And
welcome.
I hope you have a lovely evening and that your little Baba sleeps through the night for you tonight.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so.
Take care, and
Thank
we'll
you.
speak soon again.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
All right. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you had fun, please remember to hit that subscribe button, and then it'll make sure that you never miss a thing. I'll see you same time and same place next week. Bye for now.